The official report didn't mention her. She wasn't quoted, wasn't thanked. Just another name at the bottom of the list. But when doubts rose about what really happened during the mission, they checked her bodycam. What they saw? Her staying behind to drag a wounded teammate. Her covering 3 blind angles. Her saving the mission, silently. Frame by frame, the truth played out. And suddenly, the forgotten soldier became the reason the story was rewritten. From which military installation around the world are you watching this video today? If you enjoy stories that blend tactical precision with the power of unrecognized heroism, consider subscribing for more content that explores how true leadership emerges not from recognition, but from silent dedication when it matters most. The pre-mission briefing at Naval Air Station Sigonella had commenced with the methodical precision that characterized the most sensitive special operations missions conducted by Joint Special Operations Command in the Mediterranean theater. Staff Sergeant Maria Vasquez entered the secure briefing facility at exactly 0400 hours, her combat equipment configured for the specialized communications role that placed her at the intersection of tactical operations and strategic coordination. The underground complex, built into reinforced positions beneath the Sicilian airfield, hummed with preparation for missions that would test every aspect of special operations capabilities in environments where communication failures meant the difference between mission success and catastrophic operational failure. Lieutenant Colonel David Morrison stood beside the primary tactical display, his weathered hands manipulating holographic projections that showed real-time intelligence data from multiple surveillance assets positioned throughout the operational theater. At 42, Morrison possessed operational experience that spanned 3 combat deployments where his aggressive leadership had achieved tactical success through decisive action and superior firepower coordination. His personnel record contained commendations for direct action operations, tactical innovation, and the rare ability to maintain unit cohesion during operations where conventional approaches encountered unexpected resistance requiring immediate adaptation. Status report, Sergeant Morrison said, his voice carrying the authority of someone who had earned respect through demonstrated competence in environments where leadership mistakes resulted in casualties that haunted commanders for decades. Morrison's angular features reflected the accumulated stress of operations where strategic objectives required tactical precision under conditions that tested human endurance and psychological resilience beyond normal military parameters. Vasquez activated the primary communication array, bringing up real-time data feeds from Operation Serpent Strike, a multinational counterterrorism mission involving American, Italian, and French special operations forces conducting coordinated raids against terrorist networks operating across North Africa. Color-coded indicators displayed friendly positions, confirmed enemy locations, and communication relay points that enabled coordination between multiple units operating across hundreds of kilometers of contested territory. Sir, all communication systems operational and ready for mission commencement, Vasquez reported, highlighting specific technical configurations on the 3-dimensional communication network display. Primary and backup frequencies established with all participating units, satellite relay systems confirmed operational, and emergency communication protocols uploaded to all tactical systems. She gestured towards secondary displays showing encrypted communication channels, frequency management protocols, and backup systems that would maintain coordination between multinational forces whose success depended on precise timing and flawless information sharing. Current assessment indicates communication infrastructure sufficient for complex multinational coordination under hostile electronic warfare conditions. Morrison studied the communication architecture while reviewing final operational orders that would commit special operations forces to missions requiring coordination between multiple national commands whose tactical approaches differed significantly. Assessment of enemy electronic warfare capabilities. Vasquez manipulated displays to show intelligence assessments of enemy jamming capabilities, signal interception techniques, and communication disruption methods that could compromise multinational coordination during critical operational phases. Intelligence indicates sophisticated electronic warfare capabilities including targeted jamming, signal interception, and communication network infiltration designed to disrupt coalition coordination. The assessment revealed that enemy forces possessed technical capabilities that could compromise communication systems essential for multinational coordination, requiring backup procedures and redundant systems that conventional special operations missions typically didn't require. Morrison recognized that communication security would be as critical as tactical effectiveness for mission success. Before Vasquez could continue her technical briefing, the secure facility's armored entrance opened and Brigadier General Patricia Hayes entered, accompanied by her aide and 2 intelligence specialists from European Command Headquarters. Hayes, an imposing figure whose presence commanded immediate attention, represented the type of strategic leadership that coordinated multinational special operations across multiple theaters where political considerations intersected with tactical requirements. Colonel Morrison, Sergeant Vasquez, Hayes announced, settling behind the tactical coordination table with obvious focus on operational details that would determine strategic success across multiple missions. Operation Serpent Strike represents one of our most complex multinational coordination challenges in this theater, requiring precise communication management and flawless tactical execution. The briefing facility's atmosphere intensified as Hayes' strategic oversight elevated routine operational planning to theater-level significance. Vasquez maintained her professional demeanor while recognizing that communication failures during this mission could affect multinational relationships and strategic objectives extending beyond immediate tactical results. General, would you like comprehensive briefing on communication architecture and coordination protocols? Morrison offered, activating displays that showed the complex web of communication systems, backup procedures, and emergency protocols required for multinational special operations coordination. Hayes studied the tactical displays showing planned assault routes, communication relay points, and coordination procedures that would enable multiple national forces to operate together despite different tactical doctrines and command structures. Give me your assessment of communication vulnerabilities and contingency procedures, Colonel. Morrison activated intelligence reports showing potential communication disruption scenarios and backup procedures designed to maintain coordination despite enemy electronic warfare capabilities. Sir, primary concern involves enemy jamming of satellite communication systems during critical coordination phases when multinational units require precise timing for tactical success. Hayes nodded while reviewing communication protocols that revealed the complexity of coordinating special operations forces from different nations whose tactical approaches emphasized different operational priorities. What's your assessment of backup communication procedures if primary systems are compromised? Vasquez activated secondary displays showing redundant communication networks, emergency frequencies, and manual coordination procedures that could maintain multinational coordination despite electronic warfare disruption. Ma'am, backup systems include multiple redundant networks, emergency communication protocols, and manual coordination procedures designed to maintain operational effectiveness despite communication degradation. The technical briefing revealed sophisticated backup systems designed for communication environments where enemy electronic warfare could disrupt conventional coordination methods. But Hayes' expression showed concern about operational complexity that extended beyond purely technical considerations. Sergeant Vasquez, Hayes said, studying communication protocols more carefully. Your role involves more than technical communication management. Multinational coordination requires cultural awareness and tactical understanding that extends beyond routine communication duties. Vasquez understood that Hayes was emphasizing responsibilities that extended beyond her technical specialties to include tactical coordination and cultural mediation between multinational forces whose operational approaches reflected different military traditions and strategic priorities. Ma'am, I've completed advanced training in multinational coordination protocols and tactical communication management for complex special operations environments, Vasquez replied, indicating qualifications that prepared her for responsibilities extending beyond routine technical duties. Hayes reviewed Vasquez's personnel file, noting qualifications that included language capabilities, cultural training, and tactical experience that exceeded typical requirements for communication specialists. Sergeant, your background suggests capabilities that could prove valuable for coordination challenges extending beyond technical communication management. Morrison studied the operational requirements while recognizing that multinational coordination would require personnel capable of bridging cultural and tactical differences between Special Operations Forces whose approaches emphasized different operational priorities and command structures. As they finalized mission planning, Hayes assigned specific coordination responsibilities that placed Vasquez at the center of multinational communication management, while Morrison focused on tactical leadership of American forces. Her role emphasized technical expertise combined with cultural mediation capabilities that could prove critical for mission success. Sergeant Vasquez, Hayes said, reviewing final assignment details. You'll serve as primary communication coordinator with responsibility for maintaining multinational coordination despite potential enemy electronic warfare disruption. Vasquez accepted the assignment while understanding that her responsibilities extended beyond technical communication management to include tactical coordination and cultural mediation between multinational forces whose success depended on seamless cooperation despite different operational approaches. 6 hours later, Vasquez found herself positioned in the tactical command vehicle as Morrison's team prepared to execute their portion of Operation Serpent Strike. Her communication station occupied the center of the vehicle's technical configuration, surrounded by sophisticated equipment that would maintain coordination with Italian and French forces operating in adjacent operational areas. Serpent Control, this is Eagle 6. Morrison reported through encrypted channels as American forces approached their assigned target area, proceeding to initial positions according to planned timeline. Vasquez monitored multinational communication traffic, while maintaining coordination between forces whose tactical approaches required precise timing despite different operational methods. Italian forces emphasized methodical planning and careful coordination, while French forces favored rapid movement and aggressive tactics, creating coordination challenges that required constant communication management. Eagle 6, this is Serpent Control, came the response from multinational command headquarters. All forces report ready for synchronized commencement. Maintain coordination with Falcon and Hawk elements for simultaneous execution. Vasquez confirmed communication status with Italian Falcon forces and French Hawk elements, while monitoring enemy electronic warfare activities that could disrupt coordination during critical mission phases. Her technical systems detected increasing enemy jamming attempts designed to interfere with multinational communication. Eagle 6, I'm detecting escalating enemy electronic warfare targeting our communication frequencies, Vasquez reported to Morrison. Recommend implementing backup communication protocols to maintain multinational coordination. Morrison acknowledged her assessment while focusing on tactical preparations that would commit American forces to assault operations requiring precise timing with multinational partners. Implement backup procedures and maintain coordination with all multinational elements regardless of enemy jamming attempts. As operations commenced, Vasquez discovered that enemy electronic warfare capabilities exceeded intelligence estimates, creating communication disruption that threatened multinational coordination essential for mission success. Her technical expertise became critical for maintaining coordination despite sophisticated enemy countermeasures. The tactical situation developed rapidly as American, Italian, and French forces initiated simultaneous operations against terrorist targets whose sophisticated defenses required precise multinational coordination. Vasquez maintained communication networks despite increasing enemy electronic warfare while monitoring tactical developments that required immediate coordination adjustments. Falcon lead reports heavy resistance requiring tactical modification. Vasquez informed Morrison during the initial assault phase. Italian forces requesting coordination adjustment to maintain tactical effectiveness. Morrison processed tactical information while adapting American operations to support multinational coordination despite enemy resistance that exceeded initial intelligence assessments. Coordinate tactical modifications with all multinational elements and maintain communication regardless of enemy countermeasures. Vasquez managed communication networks while coordinating tactical modifications between forces whose different operational approaches required constant mediation to maintain effective cooperation. Her role evolved from technical communication management to active tactical coordination as operational complexity increased. During the most critical phase of the operation, enemy electronic warfare successfully disrupted primary communication systems, creating coordination challenges that threaten mission success and multinational force safety. Vasquez implemented emergency communication procedures while maintaining tactical coordination under conditions that tested her technical and cultural capabilities. All stations, primary communication compromised, Vasquez announced through backup channels. Implementing emergency coordination protocols to maintain multinational tactical effectiveness. Her emergency procedures maintained coordination between multinational forces despite sophisticated enemy countermeasures, enabling continued tactical operations that achieved mission objectives through her technical expertise and cultural mediation capabilities that bridged operational differences between different national forces. Morrison's tactical leadership achieved American operational objectives, while Vasquez's communication management enabled multinational coordination that accomplished strategic goals despite enemy resistance and electronic warfare capabilities that exceeded intelligence predictions. The mission concluded successfully with all multinational forces achieving their tactical objectives through coordination that Vasquez's technical expertise and cultural awareness had maintained despite sophisticated enemy countermeasures designed to disrupt coalition operations. Serpent Control. This is Eagle 6. Morrison reported as American forces completed extraction procedures, mission objectives achieved, all personnel accounted for, multinational coordination maintained throughout operational timeline. Vasquez secured communication equipment while coordinating final multinational reports that documented successful completion of complex special operations requiring seamless cooperation between forces from different nations with different tactical approaches and operational priorities. 3 weeks later, Morrison submitted operational reports that emphasized tactical achievements and strategic success accomplished through superior firepower and aggressive leadership that had overcome enemy resistance despite sophisticated defensive capabilities. His reports focused on American tactical effectiveness while minimizing multinational coordination challenges. The official mission documentation featured Morrison's tactical leadership prominently, while relegating Vasquez's communication management to routine technical support that hadn't significantly influenced operational success. Her contributions were categorized as competent technical assistance rather than critical tactical coordination. Morrison received commendation for tactical leadership that had achieved mission objectives despite enemy resistance, while Vasquez received routine recognition for communication support duties that official reports characterized as adequate technical assistance during multinational operations. The mission success story emphasized Morrison's aggressive leadership and tactical innovation while understating coordination challenges that Vasquez's expertise had resolved during critical operational phases when communication failures could have resulted in mission failure and multinational casualties. 6 months later, strategic intelligence assessments revealed that Operation Serpent Strike had achieved tactical success, but had failed to accomplish strategic objectives due to terrorist adaptation that suggested operational security compromises during multinational coordination phases that enabled enemy preparation. European Command Headquarters initiated comprehensive mission review procedures designed to identify operational security vulnerabilities that had enabled enemy adaptation despite tactical success achieved by multinational special operations forces. Colonel Sarah Chun, assigned to conduct independent mission analysis, requested access to all operational documentation, including technical recordings and communication logs that could reveal previously unidentified factors influencing mission effectiveness and strategic outcomes. Colonel Morrison, Chun said during her initial review interview, operational reports indicate successful tactical execution, but strategic intelligence suggests enemy awareness of multinational operations that implies operational security compromises during coordination phases. Morrison reviewed his operational reports while defending tactical decisions that had achieved immediate mission objectives despite strategic intelligence concerns about enemy adaptation that suggested previously unidentified operational security vulnerabilities. Colonel Chun, tactical execution was flawless and achieved all assigned objectives through superior leadership and tactical coordination, Morrison replied. Any strategic complications likely resulted from intelligence factors beyond tactical control rather than operational security compromises during mission execution. Chun studied operational reports while noting discrepancies between described coordination challenges and reported communication effectiveness that suggested incomplete documentation of complex multinational coordination requirements and potential vulnerabilities. Colonel Morrison, reports indicate seamless multinational coordination, but intelligence analysis suggests communication patterns that enabled enemy adaptation. I need access to technical communication logs and recordings that could reveal operational security vulnerabilities. Morrison's expression showed concern about expanded review procedures that could reveal operational details not included in official reports. Colonel, technical communication logs contain classified multinational information that requires special clearance procedures for access and review. Chun activated security protocols that provided access to technical recordings and communication logs maintained by operational communication specialists, whose documentation procedures captured details not included in tactical reports submitted by operational commanders. I have appropriate clearances for reviewing all technical documentation related to multinational communication management during Operation Serpent Strike. Chun confirmed while requesting access to Vasquez's technical logs and communication recordings. Chun's review of technical documentation revealed significant discrepancies between official operational reports and actual communication challenges that had threatened mission success and multinational coordination during critical operational phases when enemy countermeasures exceeded intelligence predictions. Vasquez's technical logs documented sophisticated enemy electronic warfare capabilities that had disrupted primary communication systems, while her emergency procedures maintained multinational coordination through cultural mediation and technical innovation that official reports had minimized or ignored entirely. Sergeant Vasquez, Chun said during her interview with the communication specialist, "Your technical logs indicate communication challenges that don't appear in official operational reports. Can you explain the discrepancies between your documentation and submitted tactical reports?" Vasquez reviewed her technical documentation while recalling operational challenges that had required constant adaptation and cultural mediation to maintain multinational coordination despite enemy countermeasures and operational complexity that exceeded official report descriptions. "Ma'am, official reports focused on tactical achievements rather than communication challenges," Vasquez replied diplomatically. "My technical logs documented actual communication conditions and emergency procedures required to maintain multinational coordination despite enemy electronic warfare capabilities." Chun studied Vasquez's detailed technical documentation while recognizing that communication challenges had been significantly more complex than official reports indicated, requiring technical expertise and cultural awareness that had proven critical for mission success. "Sergeant, your logs indicate that communication failures could have resulted in mission failure and multinational casualties. How did you maintain coordination despite sophisticated enemy countermeasures that exceeded intelligence predictions?" Vasquez explained emergency communication procedures and cultural mediation techniques that had maintained multinational coordination through technical innovation and interpersonal skills that bridged operational differences between forces with different tactical approaches and command structures. Chun's analysis revealed that Vasquez's communication management had been critical for mission success rather than routine technical support, and that her contributions had been systematically minimized in official reports that emphasized tactical leadership over coordination expertise. "Sergeant Vasquez, I need access to your personal communication recordings and technical system logs that could reveal operational security vulnerabilities and coordination challenges not documented in official reports." Vasquez provided access to comprehensive technical documentation, including personal communication recordings that captured multinational coordination challenges and enemy countermeasures that had required constant adaptation throughout the operational timeline. Chun's review of Vasquez's recordings revealed that communication management had required tactical decision-making and cultural mediation that exceeded routine technical duties, and that her expertise had been essential for maintaining multinational coordination during critical phases when communication failures could have resulted in operational disaster. The recordings documented Vasquez maintaining coordination between multinational forces despite sophisticated enemy electronic warfare, while providing tactical guidance and cultural mediation that enabled continued operations when conventional communication procedures proved inadequate for operational requirements. Chin's analysis determined that Vasquez's communication management had been critical for strategic success rather than routine technical support, and that official reports had systematically understated coordination challenges and technical expertise required for maintaining multinational cooperation under hostile conditions. Sergeant Vasquez, Chin concluded, your technical documentation and communication recordings indicate that your contributions were essential for mission success rather than routine support duties described in official reports. Chin's comprehensive mission review revealed that official documentation had significantly understated communication challenges and technical expertise required for multinational coordination, while overstating the ease of tactical achievement that official reports had attributed primarily to aggressive leadership. Her analysis determined that Vasquez's communication management had prevented mission failure during critical phases when enemy countermeasures threatened multinational coordination, and that her cultural mediation had enabled tactical cooperation between forces whose operational approaches required constant coordination adjustment. Chin's review resulted in amended operational reports that acknowledged communication management as critical for mission success rather than routine technical support, and recommended recognition for technical expertise and cultural awareness that had proven essential for multinational special operations coordination. Colonel Morrison, Chun said during her final review interview, analysis indicates that Sergeant Vasquez's communication management was critical for mission success rather than routine technical support described in original operational reports. Morrison reviewed Chin's analysis while acknowledging that communication challenges had been more significant than original reports indicated, and that Vasquez's expertise had proven essential for maintaining multinational coordination during operational phases when conventional procedures proved inadequate. Chin's mission review resulted in official documentation that recognized Vasquez's communication management as critical tactical contribution rather than routine technical support, acknowledging expertise and cultural awareness that had enabled multinational cooperation essential for strategic success. Vasquez received formal recognition for tactical communication management that had prevented mission failure during critical coordination phases, and her techniques were recommended for training programs designed to prepare communication specialists for complex multinational special operations requirements. Morrison's tactical leadership achievements were maintained in official documentation, but Chin's analysis ensured that Vasquez's critical contributions received appropriate recognition for preventing operational failure during communication challenges that could have resulted in mission disaster and multinational casualties. The mission success story was rewritten to acknowledge communication management as essential tactical capability rather than routine technical support, recognizing expertise that had enabled multinational coordination under hostile conditions that tested human and technical capabilities beyond conventional operational parameters. Vasquez's communication expertise and cultural awareness were recognized as critical military capabilities that had achieved strategic success through technical innovation and interpersonal skills that maintained multinational cooperation despite enemy countermeasures designed to disrupt coalition operations. Chin's comprehensive review established communication management as recognized tactical specialty, requiring technical expertise and cultural awareness rather than routine support duties, acknowledging capabilities that proved essential for modern multinational special operations coordination. The forgotten communication specialist had become recognized for technical expertise and cultural mediation that had enabled strategic success, demonstrating that critical military capabilities sometimes emerged from specialties that conventional recognition procedures systematically undervalued or ignored. Vasquez's career transformation from overlooked technical specialist to recognized tactical expert illustrated how comprehensive mission analysis could reveal critical contributions that official reporting procedures had minimized due to emphasis on traditional leadership characteristics rather than specialized expertise essential for complex operations. Her communication management techniques became training standards for multinational special operations coordination, acknowledging technical and cultural capabilities that proved more critical for strategic success than conventional tactical leadership under specific operational conditions. The sergeant whose contributions had been relegated to routine technical support had proven that specialized expertise could be more critical for mission success than traditional leadership, and that comprehensive mission analysis was necessary for identifying capabilities that conventional recognition procedures systematically overlooked. Chen's mission review had demonstrated that accurate operational assessment required analysis of all contributory factors rather than emphasis on traditional leadership characteristics, and that strategic success often depended on specialized capabilities that routine reporting procedures failed to acknowledge appropriately. Vasquez's recognition illustrated how mission analysis could reveal that critical tactical contributions sometimes emerged from specialties considered secondary to conventional leadership, and that accurate historical documentation required comprehensive review of all factors contributing to operational success. The communications specialist who had been left out of official recognition had become acknowledged for expertise that proved essential for strategic achievement, demonstrating that true military capabilities sometimes emerged from technical specialties whose contributions required analytical review to receive appropriate acknowledgement. Her career demonstrated that specialized technical expertise combined with cultural awareness could prove more critical for multinational operations success than conventional tactical leadership, and that accurate mission documentation required recognition of all capabilities that contributed to strategic achievement rather than emphasis on traditional command characteristics. Vasquez's techniques and cultural mediation capabilities became recognized special operations requirements for multinational coordination, acknowledging expertise that had proven essential for strategic success despite conventional recognition procedures that had initially minimized technical contributions as routine support duties. The forgotten specialist had become recognized for capabilities that proved critical for mission success, illustrating how comprehensive analysis could reveal that strategic achievement often depended on specialized expertise whose contributions required careful review to receive acknowledgement proportional to their operational importance. Chen's mission review had established precedent for comprehensive analysis that recognized all contributory factors rather than emphasis on conventional leadership characteristics, ensuring that future operational documentation would acknowledge specialized capabilities whose contributions proved essential for strategic success in complex multinational environments. Vasquez's recognition demonstrated that accurate military history required analysis of all tactical contributions rather than selective emphasis on traditional command roles, and that strategic success often emerged from specialized expertise whose importance became apparent only through comprehensive operational review and technical analysis. The communications specialist whose name had appeared only at the bottom of personnel lists had become acknowledged for expertise that proved central to mission success, illustrating how analytical review could reveal that critical military capabilities often emerged from specialties whose contributions conventional recognition procedures systematically undervalued or overlooked entirely. But Vasquez's most defining moment would come 2 years later, during an operation that would test every lesson learned about the critical importance of technical expertise and cultural mediation in multinational special operations environments where conventional leadership approaches had proven inadequate for achieving strategic objectives in increasingly complex operational theaters. The emergency briefing at European Command Headquarters in Stuttgart arrived through classified channels at 0145 hours, carrying priority designations that indicated immediate deployment requirements for the most sensitive multinational operations conducted in contested regions, where political considerations intersected with tactical necessities in ways that conventional military approaches struggled to address effectively. Major General Robert Thompson reviewed classified intelligence reports in the secure briefing facility 4 levels beneath UCOM headquarters, his weathered features reflecting the accumulated stress of coordinating multinational special operations across theaters where cultural complexity was as challenging as enemy resistance for achieving strategic objectives that required seamless cooperation between forces with fundamentally different operational philosophies. Sergeant Vasquez, Thompson said as Vasquez entered the briefing room, "You've been specifically requested for this operation based on your proven ability to maintain multinational coordination under conditions that have caused previous missions to fail due to communication and cultural challenges that conventional approaches cannot overcome." Vasquez settled into the briefing position while studying holographic displays that showed real-time intelligence from the Horn of Africa, where international terrorism had created operational requirements that individual nations couldn't address independently, necessitating multinational cooperation that had consistently proven difficult to achieve and maintain under combat conditions. "Sir, what's the strategic situation?" Vasquez asked, examining intelligence assessments that revealed enemy capabilities extending across multiple national boundaries in ways that required unprecedented multinational coordination to address effectively. Thompson activated intelligence displays showing terrorist networks whose operational reach required coordinated responses from American, British, German, and Ethiopian forces operating under different command structures with different tactical doctrines and different strategic priorities that had previously proven difficult to coordinate effectively. Terrorist organizations have established operational networks spanning multiple countries, Thompson explained, manipulating displays to show intelligence indicating enemy capabilities that individual national responses couldn't address comprehensively. Previous multinational operations have achieved limited tactical success due to coordination difficulties that enabled enemy adaptation and operational security compromises. The intelligence data revealed patterns of terrorist adaptation that suggested enemy understanding of multinational coordination vulnerabilities, indicating that previous operations had suffered from communication and cultural challenges that enabled enemy preparation and tactical countermeasures that reduced operational effectiveness significantly. Assessment of previous multinational coordination challenges? Vasquez inquired, studying operational reports that documented communication failures and cultural misunderstandings that had compromised operational security and tactical effectiveness during previous multinational special operations in similar environments. Thompson manipulated displays to show comprehensive analysis of previous multinational operations, revealing consistent patterns of coordination failures that had enabled enemy adaptation despite superior tactical capabilities possessed by individual national forces operating without effective integration and mutual support. Previous operations achieved individual tactical success but failed strategic objectives due to coordination challenges that enabled enemy exploitation of multinational vulnerabilities, Thompson continued, highlighting specific instances where communication failures and cultural misunderstandings had compromised operational effectiveness and strategic achievement. Vasquez studied the patterns while recognizing familiar challenges that her previous experience had prepared her to address through technical expertise and cultural mediation capabilities that conventional military training typically didn't emphasize sufficiently for complex multinational operational requirements. "Sir, have previous operations attempted specialized communication coordination protocols designed specifically for multinational cultural integration?" Vasquez asked, noting that conventional military communication focused on technical efficiency rather than cultural mediation that proved essential for multinational cooperation. Thompson activated additional reports showing previous attempts at multinational coordination that had emphasized technical communication efficiency without addressing cultural factors that influenced tactical cooperation between forces whose operational approaches reflected fundamentally different military traditions and strategic priorities. Previous coordination efforts focused on technical communication protocols without addressing cultural mediation requirements that prove essential for maintaining multinational tactical effectiveness under combat stress, Thompson acknowledged, recognizing limitations in conventional approaches to multinational military cooperation. The operational analysis revealed that technical communication efficiency alone was insufficient for maintaining multinational coordination when cultural differences influenced tactical decision-making and operational priorities in ways that required active mediation rather than simple technical connectivity between different national command structures. "General, what's the proposed approach for achieving improved multinational coordination during this operation?" Vasquez asked, understanding that her selection indicated recognition of specialized capabilities that conventional military approaches had proven inadequate to provide. Thompson activated comprehensive mission planning displays that outlined approaches specifically designed to address communication and cultural challenges that had caused previous multinational operations to achieve limited tactical success without accomplishing strategic objectives effectively. "You'll serve as primary multinational coordination specialist with responsibility for maintaining tactical communication and cultural mediation between forces whose operational effectiveness depends on cooperation that previous missions have been unable to achieve consistently, Thompson explained. The mission parameters represented recognition that specialized expertise in communication management and cultural mediation had become critical military capabilities for achieving strategic objectives in operational environments where multinational cooperation was essential but difficult to maintain under combat conditions. Sir, what support assets are available for specialized multinational coordination operations? Vasquez inquired, recognizing that her mission would require resources specifically configured for cultural mediation rather than conventional technical communication support. Thompson displayed logistical support that included cultural advisors, linguistic specialists, and communication assets designed for extended multinational coordination rather than routine technical connectivity, indicating institutional recognition of specialized requirements for effective multinational military cooperation. You'll have access to specialized cultural support that recognizes communication management as tactical capability rather than routine technical support, Thompson confirmed, acknowledging evolution in military understanding of requirements for effective multinational special operations coordination. Vasquez studied mission requirements while understanding that success would depend on her ability to maintain tactical communication and cultural mediation between forces whose operational effectiveness required cooperation that conventional approaches had consistently failed to achieve under combat stress. General, what's the operational timeline for multinational coordination compared to conventional single-nation operations? Vasquez asked, recognizing that cultural mediation required time and relationship building that conventional tactical timelines typically didn't accommodate. Thompson activated timeline projections that showed extended coordination periods compared to conventional operations, indicating institutional recognition that effective multinational cooperation required sustained relationship building rather than immediate tactical connectivity. Successful multinational coordination may require weeks of cultural preparation and relationship building rather than hours of technical setup, Thompson acknowledged, demonstrating evolved understanding of requirements for effective multinational military cooperation under combat conditions. The operational timeline indicated that Vasquez's mission would test whether specialized communication and cultural mediation could achieve multinational coordination that conventional approaches had proven unable to maintain consistently during complex special operations requiring sustained cooperation under hostile conditions. 1 week later, Vasquez found herself positioned at a forward coordination facility in Djibouti, establishing communication networks and cultural mediation protocols for Operation Desert Falcon, a multinational counterterrorism mission involving forces whose tactical approaches reflected fundamentally different military traditions and operational priorities. Control, this is Harmony 6, Vasquez reported through encrypted channels, using call signs that emphasized her coordination role rather than conventional tactical designations. Establishing multinational integration protocols for sustained operational cooperation. The response came from Colonel Sarah Martinez, who was overseeing multinational coordination from a joint operations center equipped with cultural analysis capabilities and specialized communication assets designed for complex multinational military cooperation rather than conventional technical connectivity. Harmony 6, you are cleared to initiate comprehensive multinational integration procedures, Martinez confirmed. Maintain focus on cultural mediation and relationship building rather than purely technical communication efficiency. Vasquez activated communication systems designed for cultural mediation while establishing personal relationships with British, German, and Ethiopian liaison officers whose cooperation was essential for achieving operational objectives that individual national capabilities couldn't accomplish independently. This is Maria Vasquez. She introduced herself to multinational counterparts, emphasizing personal relationship building rather than formal military protocol. I'm here to help our forces work together effectively rather than just maintain technical communication. The response from her multinational counterparts showed surprise at American emphasis on relationship building rather than technical efficiency, indicating recognition that effective cooperation required understanding rather than simple connectivity between different operational approaches and command structures. Captain James Fletcher, representing British Special Operations Forces, expressed appreciation for American acknowledgment of cultural factors that influenced tactical cooperation. Sergeant Vasquez, previous operations emphasized technical communication without addressing cultural coordination that proves essential for sustained multinational effectiveness. Hauptmann Klaus Weber, coordinating German contributions, noted that cultural mediation represented recognition of requirements that conventional military approaches typically minimized. American acknowledgment of cultural factors indicates evolved understanding of multinational operational requirements. Colonel Dawit Mekonnen, representing Ethiopian forces, emphasized that cultural awareness was essential for operations in regions where local knowledge was as important as tactical capability for achieving strategic objectives. Multinational success requires understanding that extends beyond technical communication to include cultural integration. Vasquez recognized that her multinational counterparts appreciated American acknowledgment of cultural factors as critical operational requirements rather than secondary considerations that conventional military approaches typically addressed inadequately or ignored entirely. Over the following days, Vasquez maintained cultural integration protocols while coordinating operational planning that addressed different tactical approaches and operational priorities that multinational forces brought to shared strategic objectives requiring unprecedented cooperation and mutual support. British forces emphasized methodical planning and systematic execution. German forces favored technical precision and detailed coordination. Ethiopian forces provided essential local knowledge and cultural understanding, while American forces contributed rapid response capabilities and technological advantages that required integration rather than independent application. Harmony 6 to all stations. Vasquez coordinated during planning phases, implementing cultural integration protocols that acknowledged different operational strengths while maintaining unified strategic focus. Her coordination enabled tactical planning that utilized multinational capabilities synergistically rather than competitively, creating operational approaches that achieved superior effectiveness through cultural integration rather than attempting to impose uniform tactical methods on forces with different operational traditions. As Operation Desert Falcon commenced, Vasquez discovered that enemy forces possessed sophisticated understanding of multinational coordination vulnerabilities, implementing countermeasures specifically designed to exploit cultural differences and communication challenges that had compromised previous multinational operations. Enemy electronic warfare targeted communication systems, while psychological operations attempted to create cultural tensions between multinational forces whose cooperation was essential for tactical effectiveness and strategic success in operational environments where individual national capabilities were insufficient. All stations, enemy countermeasures targeting multinational coordination. Vasquez reported, while implementing cultural mediation procedures designed to maintain cooperation despite enemy attempts to exploit cultural differences. Maintaining integration protocols despite hostile cultural manipulation attempts. Her cultural mediation maintained multinational cooperation while enemy psychological operations attempted to create tactical discord through exploitation of cultural differences and communication challenges that conventional military approaches had proven unable to address effectively under combat stress. During the most critical operational phase, enemy forces launched coordinated attacks designed to test multinational coordination under conditions where cultural tensions and communication challenges could cause tactical failures that would enable enemy tactical advantage and strategic success. Vasquez maintained cultural integration while coordinating multinational responses that utilized different tactical strengths synergistically rather than allowing cultural differences to create vulnerabilities that enemy forces could exploit for operational advantage. Harmony 6 coordinating multinational tactical integration. Vasquez announced while managing communication systems and cultural mediation simultaneously, maintaining unified response despite enemy attempts to exploit cultural coordination vulnerabilities. Her coordination enabled multinational forces to maintain tactical effectiveness despite sophisticated enemy countermeasures designed to exploit cultural differences and communication challenges that had caused previous multinational operations to achieve limited success due to coordination failures. British methodical planning, German technical precision, Ethiopian local knowledge, and American rapid response capabilities functioned synergistically through Vasquez's cultural mediation rather than competitively, creating tactical effectiveness that exceeded individual national capabilities operating independently. The operation achieved comprehensive tactical success while maintaining multinational cooperation that proved sustainable under combat conditions where previous missions had experienced coordination failures that enabled enemy adaptation and operational security compromises. Control. This is Harmony 6. Vasquez reported as multinational forces completed extraction procedures. Operational objectives achieved through sustained multinational coordination maintained despite sophisticated enemy countermeasures targeting cultural integration vulnerabilities. Colonel Martinez acknowledged operational success while recognizing that cultural mediation had proven essential for achieving strategic objectives that conventional multinational approaches had been unable to accomplish consistently under combat conditions. Harmony 6. Your cultural coordination enabled multinational tactical effectiveness that previous operations couldn't achieve, Martinez confirmed. Cultural mediation proved critical for strategic success rather than secondary support consideration. Vasquez secured coordination equipment while understanding that her cultural mediation had enabled multinational cooperation that achieved strategic objectives through sustained relationship building rather than temporary technical connectivity between forces with different operational approaches. 3 months later, comprehensive operational analysis revealed that Operation Desert Falcon had achieved unprecedented multinational coordination effectiveness, with enemy intelligence assessments indicating surprise at coalition ability to maintain tactical cooperation despite sophisticated countermeasures designed to exploit cultural vulnerabilities. General Thompson's strategic review specifically commended Vasquez's cultural mediation for enabling multinational tactical effectiveness that conventional coordination approaches had been unable to achieve consistently, acknowledging specialized capabilities as critical military requirements rather than secondary support functions. Sergeant Vasquez's cultural coordination achieved multinational tactical effectiveness that previous conventional approaches could not accomplish, Thompson wrote in his assessment. Cultural mediation represents critical military capability for multinational operations rather than supplementary support consideration. Vasquez received assignment to establish specialized training programs for multinational coordination specialists whose missions required cultural mediation capabilities that conventional military communication training typically didn't provide adequately for complex multinational operational requirements. Her cultural mediation techniques were designated as standard protocols for multinational special operations coordination, acknowledging specialized expertise as critical military capability rather than routine support function that conventional recognition procedures had typically minimized. European Command established multinational coordination as specialized military occupation requiring cultural expertise and relationship-building capabilities in addition to technical communication competence, recognizing evolved understanding of requirements for effective multinational military cooperation. 6 months later, Vasquez's cultural mediation protocols were being implemented across NATO Special Operations Forces as proven methods for achieving multinational tactical effectiveness that conventional approaches had consistently failed to maintain under combat conditions. Training programs based on Vasquez's cultural integration techniques emphasized relationship building and cultural understanding as tactical capabilities equal in importance to technical communication competence for achieving sustained multinational military cooperation under hostile conditions. Field reports from multinational units trained in Vasquez's cultural mediation protocols showed consistently superior operational effectiveness compared to conventional coordination approaches, validating cultural integration as critical military capability rather than secondary support consideration. Vasquez's techniques had proven that cultural mediation represented tactical advantage rather than operational complication in multinational environments where understanding between forces was as important as technical connectivity for achieving strategic objectives requiring sustained cooperation. Her cultural coordination methods had demonstrated that relationship building could be more effective than technical efficiency for maintaining multinational tactical effectiveness, and that cultural understanding was essential military capability rather than supplementary consideration for complex operations. The sergeant who had been relegated to routine technical support had proven that cultural mediation was critical military capability that could achieve strategic objectives conventional approaches couldn't accomplish, demonstrating specialized expertise as tactical advantage rather than administrative burden. Vasquez's career had shown that cultural integration required specialized training and sustained effort rather than routine military communication procedures, and that multinational operational effectiveness depended on relationship building that conventional approaches typically undervalued. Her techniques had established cultural mediation as recognized military specialty, requiring expertise in human relationships and cultural understanding in addition to technical competence, acknowledging evolved requirements for effective multinational military cooperation. The communication specialist whose contributions had been initially minimized had become acknowledged for capabilities that proved essential for strategic achievement in multinational environments where cultural understanding was as important as tactical competence for mission success. Vasquez's recognition illustrated how specialized expertise in cultural mediation and relationship building could prove more critical for operational success than conventional military capabilities, requiring institutional acknowledgment of evolved requirements for multinational military cooperation. Her career demonstrated that effective multinational coordination required personnel capable of cultural integration rather than purely technical communication, and that strategic success often depended on specialized capabilities that conventional military training typically didn't emphasize adequately. The forgotten specialist had become recognized for expertise that proved central to multinational operational effectiveness, illustrating how comprehensive analysis could reveal that strategic achievement often emerged from specialized capabilities whose importance became apparent through operational experience. Vasquez's cultural mediation techniques became standard requirements for multinational special operations coordination, acknowledging relationship building and cultural understanding as critical military capabilities rather than secondary considerations that conventional approaches had typically minimized. Her success had established precedent for recognizing cultural expertise as tactical capability equal in importance to conventional military skills, ensuring that future multinational operations would acknowledge specialized coordination requirements as critical operational necessities. The communication specialist whose name had been buried in personnel lists had proven that cultural mediation was essential military capability for achieving strategic objectives in multinational environments, demonstrating specialized expertise as tactical advantage rather than routine support function. Vasquez's recognition had shown that accurate assessment of military capabilities required acknowledgment of all contributory factors rather than emphasis on conventional skills alone, and that strategic success often depended on specialized expertise whose importance required operational validation. Her career illustrated how cultural mediation and relationship building could prove more critical for multinational operations than conventional military capabilities, requiring institutional evolution to recognize changed requirements for effective military cooperation in complex operational environments. The sergeant who had been initially overlooked had become acknowledged for capabilities that proved essential for strategic achievement, demonstrating that critical military expertise often emerged from specialties whose contributions required comprehensive analysis to receive recognition proportional to operational importance. Chin's precedent for comprehensive mission analysis had enabled recognition of Vasquez's cultural coordination as critical tactical capability, ensuring that specialized expertise received acknowledgment appropriate to strategic contribution rather than categorization as routine support function. Vasquez's transformation from overlooked technician to recognized cultural coordination specialist illustrated institutional evolution in understanding multinational operational requirements, acknowledging relationship building as critical military capability rather than secondary consideration. Her techniques had proven that cultural integration was tactical necessity for multinational operational effectiveness rather than administrative complication, and that specialized expertise in human relationships was essential military capability for achieving strategic objectives requiring sustained cooperation. The communication specialist whose contributions had been relegated to technical support had demonstrated that cultural mediation was critical military specialty, requiring recognition and specialized training rather than treatment as routine administrative function that conventional procedures typically minimized. Vasquez's career had established cultural coordination as recognized military occupation, requiring specialized expertise in relationship building and cultural understanding, acknowledging evolved requirements for effective multinational military cooperation in complex operational environments. Her success had proven that strategic achievement in multinational operations often depended on specialized capabilities that conventional recognition procedures had typically overlooked, requiring institutional evolution to acknowledge critical contributions that emerged from non-traditional military specialties. The forgotten specialist had become recognized for expertise that proved central to multinational operational effectiveness, illustrating how accurate military assessment required acknowledgment of all capabilities that contributed to strategic success rather than emphasis on conventional leadership characteristics alone.